How's it going, gamers? We are back in Explorer with another old favorite of mine, Sultai Ultimatum, Emergent Ultimatum, an 80 card Yorion deck, control deck, and the main goal is to cast this card and hopefully win immediately. So, 7 mana, black, black, 3 green, 2 blue, search your library for up to 3 monocolored cards with different names and exile them. Your opponent chooses one that you do not cast, you get to cast the other 2, and then this exiled itself. So the main combo here is we have Teferi's Tutelage, which says whenever we draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards, and Peer into the Abyss, which says we draw half of our deck. And since we are a Yorion deck, we should have more cards in our deck than our opponent, so that should mill them out. So we get those two, which are the combo. Of course, the opponent doesn't have to give us those 2 cards, they can give us the third one, and usually what we get otherwise is Omniscience, which this is casting us from our cast spells from our hand without paying their costs, and ideally we do that and we have enough card advantage with Impulse and Omen of the Sea, or even better, a Tutor and Solve the Equation to go and get Peer into the Abyss anyway. If they give us Omniscience and Peer into the Abyss, of course, then we get to draw half of our deck, and we should be able to win the game with like 30 cards in hand and all of the spells being free. So generally what they want to do is give you Teferi's Tutelage and Omniscience, which gives you a loot plus whatever card advantage you have to try and find Peer into the Abyss, or at least slow them down enough. The alternate win con is Mastermind's Acquisition to get us a card from the sideboard. Also works as a tutor to find your ultimatum if you need it, or the combo otherwise. But then we can go to the sideboard and get Scholar of Ages first, right, and then we cast that, we get back Mastermind's Acquisition and some other spell, and then we get Approach of the Second Sun, which hopefully between that and the other spell we got back with Mastermind's Acquisition, we should be able to win the game by simply casting this twice. Right, 7 mana, but it's for free because we have Omniscience in play. It's the only time we get this card. So you cast it, you gain 7 life, goes into your deck 7 from the top, then if you cast it the second time and it resolves, you win the game. The main difficulty with this deck I have found to be counterspell decks, and to the end of giving us a fighting chance against those, I'm playing 1 Thought Distortion in the main here, which we can of course find with Solve the Equation and Mastermind Acquisition as well. And this is just so absolutely fun to resolve. 6 mana sorcery can't be countered, very key. Target opponent reveals their hand, you exile all non-creature, non-land cards from their hand and graveyard. Your control player that had 6 cards in hand and Memory Deluge in the graveyard now suddenly has no resources at all, and then you can go for your ultimatum. And oftentimes they just concede to a good enough Thought Distortion, so that's really fun. The card we have here is Balagad Recovery, just for a bit of protection, right? If our Peer into the Abyss is in the graveyard, for example, or if our Mastermind's Acquisition is in the graveyard, and we're given Omniscience and Peer into the Abyss, and we need to get our Mastermind's Acquisition back. We have the Balagad Recovery for a bit of redundancy there. The rest shouldn't really surprise you here. We've got Cheap Interaction with Fatal Push and Thoughtseize, and some 2-mana kill spells. Divide by 0 answers just about everything, and gets us some nice card advantage from the sideboard. Growth Spiral, good ramp. Cultivate, good ramp. We have 2 Migration Paths, maybe slightly less good ramp, but this gives us the ability to, in theory, play Emergent Ultimatum on turn 4. Right, you go Growth Spiral on 2, Migration Path on 3, play land on 4, you have 7 mana, and it cycles for 2, so it's not a huge downside. I think this is the best 4-mana ramp spell to be playing in this deck. The battle, we never attack things, so that doesn't matter. Cycling is reasonable in the late game. If we have enough lands already, we can go find something meaningful. We have exactly enough basics in the deck to cast Emergent Ultimatum, so we need some amount of basics to find off of Cultivate and Migration Path, so that's why those are there. Otherwise, we just have a selection of all of the decent Sultai lands that you can play in this format. 1 Boseiju for mono green mostly, but this is just a good card. Some sweepers for creatures as well, and I explained everything. Yorion is just good, so we play Yorion, and 80 cards is very helpful when you want to fit in your Emergent Ultimatum package without drawing the pieces. Anyway, that is the deck. Let's go try it out. Yeah, that looks okay. Got the option of Omen of the Sea or Heartless Act on turn 2. Probably going to be Heartless Act. Ideally something higher value than the Hopeful Initiate. Alright, I guess we Heartless Act the Thalia on our turn. Just get this down. Pretty much just want lands or sweepers here. Sure. Guess they could be playing Brave the Elements, so we'll kill this on our turn. Hopefully they don't follow up with Adeline or something. That's fine. Happy to divide that by 0. Alternatively, we could solve the equation for Shadow's Verdict. That doesn't seem terribly good right now. I think we just keep our tempo here. Go get Environmental Sciences. Next turn we can cast Sciences plus Solve. Just try and survive to 7 mana. Thalia's Lieutenant makes that a bit difficult. See, blue, blue, black, black, green, green, green. Doesn't really matter here. So if I solve for Ultimatum or the odds, I live for 2 more turns. Pretty good. Code here, we take 6. Then we can Mastermind for a Fatal Push here or something. We'll just use that on the Vanguard now. As Lieutenant, take 8. And cast Ultimatum. And black, black, green, 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 blue, blue. What do we want to do here? Definitely want... Guess we just take Shadow's Verdict, Omniscience, and Teferi's Tutelage. Bit of trouble if they hit us with Mutavault here. because then Peer into the Abyss would kill me. But since we are still more than one life, we can do this. Pretty lucky they only had 2 lands there, but what are you going to do? They still made plays every turn, and we answered them every turn. Win's a win. Perhaps especially when you're at 1 life. Yeah, one thing about this combo is it takes a little while to actually work. Of course, this isn't Magic Online, so we don't need to click anything. Opponent has clicked Resolve All. Most of the time they realize they're dead when they get milled out here, but it's not always. Always have enough cards left, thanks to Yorion. It does go faster once their cards are done. And I have to go and choose the cards to keep in my hand. It's a little bit awkward. Guess I might as well play a land, right? I will keep that one, that one, that one. Probably doesn't matter. Sure. Discard 30 cards or so, and they die. Oh, cool. Okay, that hand looks fine. We have Thoughtseize into Omen. Should find us enough lands. I want to cast Thoughtseize on one, probably, especially with 2 of them in hand. Okay, Convoke is a little bit difficult. I think I just want to take their 1-drop, honestly, is the best move here. And take the Leosaur off the next option. Also, if we take this, Lethal Demolition is not good. So I think that's the play. Hopefully they don't draw another artifact here. Thoughtseize Bug. Classic. In that case, I think we Thoughtseize to take their Lethal Demolition here. We can play our tapped land. So why are my emotes on? Maybe install to fix that. One. Gonna play that. It's fine. Load up Element of the Sea. Probably play it pre-damage. At least we might hit a Fatal Push or something here. Guess they might go for the Loxodon. They are going for the Loxodon. Don't really want either of those. We'll take a land. Lethal Demolition into Loxodon. I think they've got us here. I just kind of had the nuts. Unless we rip Extinction Event off the top, but even then they still have 5 power in play. Yeah, they got us. Sure, this is pretty good. Giganta usually means Fatal Push is good. Does that mean I want to shock for it on turn 1? Maybe possibly. Especially if they're Prowess or something. Could be. Don't think I want to shock to Impulse here, so we'll play this tapped. Keep holding up Fatal Push. Shijiri Glacier confirms that Fatal Push should be good. Pass. Shadow's Verdict should also be good here. Going to play as a creature. They'll push it, they'll play the protection spell, we'll tap and push it again. Maybe I'll just push it again here, then we can play Migration Path. Yeah, I think that's better. Use Impulse when we have lots of mana. Doesn't super matter what colors we get. We played 4 duels. We can solve the equation for Ultimatum here. Why is Giganta? This is the perhaps the least aggressive Prowess player I've ever seen. Guess let's Impulse first, see if we can hit a land. Sure. Or Cultivate's even better. No, we want land so we can solve the equation and just hopefully win next turn. Boros Prowess slash Feather nonsense usually can't do anything about an Ultimatum in my hand. Attack District Legionnaire. Probably not going to kill me from 18. I'll take 8 here, no problem whatsoever. Cast Ultimatum, and with these 2 cards in hand, we should be deterministic. As long as I click things correctly. Omniscience, Peer, and Tutelage. Omniscience back. Make sure you cast Peer first, so it will resolve second. Tutelage. And at this point they have been milled out. Oh yeah. Unless they're playing Fling or something, we should be okay here. Guess I could Thoughtseize them to play around Fling, but then lose to Lightning Strike. I think we just let them be milled out if they somehow have this niche card that almost nobody plays. They do. These triggers do take a little bit to go on the stack, but at least you don't have to target the opponent. And a little bit to resolve too. We need those sweet milling animations. I think a lot of people just don't realize that Teferi's Tutelage plus Peer is a mill them out combo. But a solid, like, half of people that I play against seem to give me the combo versus not. Yeah, I pretty much love any hand that has Growth Spiral Cultivate. though makes me wish I had the ability to Thoughtseize on turn 1. Are very likely going to ramp better than we will. Let's see. There's no way I can Growth Spiral into Thoughtseize here. Maybe I should have taken that into account. Yeah, that was wrong. I should have played Forest, then this, and then I could main phase Growth Spiral into Thoughtseize them this turn. But, oh well. Live and learn, all that. Taking 5, sure. Might be worried about counterspells here. But I might just only have 5+ mana spells. Well, would have had it anyway, but oh well. Ooh, Extinction Event is lovely here. That might just be game. Better lucky than good, or so they say. Hopeful Haven. See if they've got something juicy left. Cavalier of Thorns qualifies as juicy. Put some more lands. I think we're feeling okay here. Maybe they can rip the nuts, but Seiju is not the nuts. They give up their ability to cast Storm the Vestibule for a 2/2. Interesting. Might find something I want to cast here, so let's just play the Omen. If I don't, I will buy Yorion. Don't need more lands, clearly. Impulse I can do on their turn. I don't think I really have anything for 3 mana I would want to play here. That's an incredibly skill-based game of Magic we just played. We'll have an Emergent Ultimatum. At least we can put our opponent out of their misery here. Let's see, we'll just cast this. Missions. Peer and Tutelage. Right. Sometimes they don't even wait to see what we get. Emergent Ultimatum is a bit of a scary card. I'll take it though. Yep, that looks just fine. One. We get a great creature we can Heartless Act. Maybe they are a Gandalf and don't play creatures. That is a creature. Cool. Angels. Looks like we'll play a 2-drop. We will Heartless Act it. Hopefully Extinction Event on Odd can clean up pretty well. We don't play anything, we'll play the Omen. Sure. Yada is very strong. We'll just cultivate here. More mana is good. Definitely want another blue source. I guess we'll just get another green source in hand. We like sources already. Oh, it doesn't matter. I had the World Tree in here for a while, but just never didn't have the mana that I wanted, so took it out in favor of some untapped lands. Let's respond an Angel. So obviously Extinction Event here is not terrible. Could also just buy Yorion and Omen. It's also not terrible. If they trigger their Resplendent Angel, that's kind of bad for us. We're ahead, just keep it that way. slightly more mana efficient the other way, but ultimately not worth it, I think. Youthful Valkyries, not too scary. Guess I could hit a Fatal Push, which would mean I'd want to play an untapped land. But obviously want them to be afraid of counterspells, so I'm going to Omen in the main phase. Right, they don't play any Angels pre-combat here, which could increase their damage. Looks like they're sitting on Collected Company. Let's see if we can just find an Ultimatum to make that not matter. Another Extinction Event's not terrible. Yeah, Extinction Event into Impulse should keep us in the game pretty solidly. Once again, leave Fatal Push as a possible draw. They don't have Collected Company. Well, that's great for us. Maybe they just wanted to play their Bishop first. Who knows? Not me. Solve the equation. Try and put this game away. Guess we should cast Yorion first, huh? Still have 3 mana open, yes. Just in case they want to, like, Skyclave Apparition my Omen of the Sea, Fateful Absence, sure. Never play Fateful Absence and Angels. Just hurts your linear game plan so much. One comes back. Guess I'll take another Omen. Just need effective card advantage to play with Omniscience in case they don't just give me the combo. Alright, let's solve the equation. Means we add Mystic. Also had Dig Up in here for a while, but it not being able to be cast off of Omniscience hurt me quite a few times, so I just had another copy of Solve the Equation. And we got him. The other inconvenience of this combo is that you have to discard down to hand size before you pass to their turn and they actually lose. Certainly not the worst combo to perform in online Magic. Okay, these are my triggers. Wait and admire the lovely sounds. There we go. Pass the turn. Doesn't matter. Just quick set of cards. And they die. Good stuff. Yep, like this. I think I play 2, Growth Spiral into one of these on 2, rather than Fatal Push on 1. We just Growth Spiral and push that here. Hopefully we find another land off the top. Not quite, huh? I think I want to bounce their Woeful Haven. Do I get Environmental Sciences, or do I loot? I think I can get Sciences here. Troll, sure. Get a Forest and play Thoughtseize here. Not me taking Karn. Tree to the World Tree. That's fine. Just Migration Path here. Let's see. Another Black Source. Doesn't matter. I do have a lot of mana with Mythos, but I guess they still have Lair of the Hydra, which they can hit me with a lot for here. They're actually dead to the Troll next turn. That's really bad. Guess we need a Heartless Act or something here. Guess Divide by 0 works. And unfortunately, if we take the Ultimatum, we are dead. So, yeah. Let them probably go for lethal here, I imagine. Sure. Can't recast this Troll this turn, which is very good. I think we just loot away the Growth Spiral here. Without more lands in hand, it just cycles anyway. Because if they have another land drop here, it's pretty rough. So, another spell here. And we don't find it. They got us. Good. Might be good enough against Oak. Extinction Event will help though. Maybe. If they just kill us on their turn 4, we are dead. Flooding on turn 2 probably means they're not going to kill us. Don't think I want to pay to Impulse here. Entry. Pretty much it. It certainly hurts. We have to cultivate them. Throat stopping 2 damage, not terribly impressive. Please no boat creature. Looks like they have it. Locks it on. I guess Shadow's Verdict to leave them with a 4/4 is not bad. We can clean that up next turn. Cultivate Indigo for the Throat is not bad. Still at 13. We have not found any white sources. Then we can cast Ultimatum next turn. Don't think there's any reason to cast Go for the Throat on my turn here. Not much reason not to either. And yeah, they never drew a white source. What are you gonna do? Shadow's Verdict, getting the job done. We'll draw lands, right? And they'll play creatures, right? That doesn't seem like something somebody who plays creatures would do. Well, that does. That's not a land. Not a Greasefang, sure. Should have known. Let's push this with a Heartless Act. Bit unlucky there. Don't have the Greasefang. We get the land. Nice. Don't think we can afford to omen there and miss on the land. This Chariot. That sucks, but I guess we can stop it from being crude for the moment. Come in for 2 lands. Growth Spiral, let's start this act up. Fiend's Informant, which sucks. And a Thoughtseize, huh? So do this first. Drawing on bishops is not ideal. Guess I make them take the Heartless Act, and then cast Shadow's Verdict next turn. Like they get to hit me for 4 here, but then they hopefully don't have Greasefang in hand. Just no longer have anything on board. If they just had Greasefang plus 2 Thoughtseizes, what are you gonna do? Sometimes Greasefang just has it. We can do from here. Guess technically we could rip another Thoughtseize off the top and be alive at 3 until they find a way to create the Chariot, but very unlikely we get anywhere there. Sure. Counterspell Gamer is concerning. Probably should have put the Overgrown Tomb there, but oh well. Too late to counter my Growth Spiral. No, good choice. I don't think I want to run solve the equation here. Just play Growth Spiral again. See if we can get the Thought Distortion. Pulse on their turn, try and find a land for it. Hopefully they don't just slam to Fairy, that would be awkward. Not really ideal to telegraph the play like this, but we're not really getting it anywhere otherwise. We have to put a stop to them sooner. I like to imagine they are deciding whether they can beat Thought Distortion at this moment. Not debating whether to play their Wandering Emperor or Deluge, and get crushed. Get back in here. At least the game loads faster now when you crash. Maybe my opponent crashed too. Stranger things have happened. They completely rip out. It's probably not what they wanted to do with that end step. They still have not returned. Which I understand, the client kind of sucks. Looks like we're timing out here. Take an untapped land, play Thought Distortion. Ideally, this just takes all 7 cards from their hand. Probably got a land or two though. Just timed out of them. It'll be rather sad if they just time out here before this resolves and we don't get to and see how many cards we take here. Maybe they rage quit, who knows. But always assume the client is bad rather than the other players being excessively salty. Maybe they're spamming emotes at me and I don't know. Oh well. Emotes are lame. Alright, and we're back. Couple crashes, couple misplays, but overall I like this deck a lot. I think it's pretty fun to get to your exciting combo that sometimes is not deterministic. Didn't really get to see any of the non-determinism today because they always just gave us Peer into the Abyss and Tutelage, and didn't make me try and find the win with Omniscience, which is the true fun of comboing with this deck, but some people just hate fun, and we still comboed in one anyway. We ended up net +1 game, which is not bad for a deck that is very much off meta here. Any changes? The weaknesses are still the counterspell decks, and Convoke is a little bit difficult because our black sweepers are not terribly good against them. Right, Shadow's Verdict is good against most of the creature decks, but the 5-mana Convoke creatures dodge it, and they also have a good mix of 0-mana tokens and 1-mana dorks that get around the Extinction event reasonably well. I don't really think there is a way to play a black control deck that's going to be really good into Convoke. Similarly, I don't think you can respect the creature decks enough and still be okay into the blue-white control. We did get to Thought Distortion 1 and win, but the other one pulled away from us, possibly due to my misjudging the situation, and also because we got a little bit unlucky in finding our ultimatums for a while. But the deck engine works. We generally can churn through cards reasonably well to find the combo piece. The ramp was reasonably consistent. We just about always hit the lands that we needed to. There's 33 lands, 34 counting Balagate Recovery, plus we have Cultivate and Migration Path to find extras. So it usually goes pretty smoothly. Could argue for a bit more utility in the lands. Maybe you want to Hive of the Eye Tyrant or Layer the Hydra somewhere, but having that untapped land on turn 7 is really, really important, so I don't really think that's a great idea. Maybe Odawara is not the worst idea either, just because the colors are always like effortlessly fine. So maybe a bit more stuff that does something. Removal I think is okay. Obviously, if you want to beat Greasefang more consistently than this build currently does, you go down on Fatal Pushes and more on these 2-mana removal spells that can kill Greasefang. But I haven't seen a whole lot of Greasefang lately, and when I play Greasefang, it is often less consistent at winning the game than the Emergent Ultimatum is, so maybe we can just combo before that and interrupt them with Thoughtseize and Divide and not really need a permanent answer to Greasefang. Yeah, that is my thoughts on the deck. I really like this one. Hope you guys enjoy it too. Thanks for watching.